Check, check, check. Good morning, Cooper River Raceway fans. Buckle your seatbelts. We're a live, exciting morning of junior finals for national championships. My name is Brian Colgan. I'll be your host for this morning's activities, along with the illustrious, infamous James Glavin. So before we get started with today's, let me just pull up my here now and review what happened on the last day, the last event of yesterday. Well, I'll get back to yesterday. First event is on the course. Women's U17 single final. Lane 1, Allison Gator from Maritime. Lane 2, Brenna Morley from Y Quad Cities. Lane 3, Audrey Lida, Three Rivers. Lane 4, Marissa Adams Grimaldi from Row House in Miami, Florida. Lane 5, Keelan Daly from Detroit. Lane 6, Haley Mead from OK City High Performance Center. Here they are at the 1,000-meter mark, and it appears to be lane 3, Audrey Lida from Three Rivers, with about a half-length lead on lane 2, Brennan Morley, and lane 6, Haley Mead. Conditions are perfect this morning. Nice sunshine, 74 degrees, no perceptible wind. This is going to be a great day of fair racing. Audrey Lida is rowing strong through the course of the 33. Brenna Morley is keeping pace at a 34. Third place appears to be, no, I'm sorry, that's, yes, Brenna Morley. Marissa Adams from Row House in lane 4 seems to be in third, with Keelan Daly fourth place, followed by Allison Gator and Keelan Daly. Okay, 7:50 to go. Audrey Ladders from Three Rivers in Pittsburgh, still in the lead. At a 33. All Scullers seems to be avoiding the magnetism of the buoys, steering nice straight courses. From this shot, it appears Audrey has perhaps 3/4 of a length lead on Brenna Morley, and maybe who has perhaps a full length on Maricel Adams in bronze position. Fourth place is now clearly Haley Mead, who is under a length behind Maricela. Yeah. Opposite the yacht club, now are people thinking about that 500-meter post approaching. Time to start planning our sprints. And Brenna Morley seems to be making a move early. She's now only a half length down on Audrey Lida. She seems to have raised her rate of striking. She's now to 35. Audrey is also at a 35. Brenna is slowly cruising up. She's drifting a bit to port, playing with the port buoys, just going over them now. Hopefully she can maintain composure because she's putting on one heck of a move. She may have just gone into the lead. Inside the last 500 meters now. This is a battle for the gold here. Brenna's at a 36. Audrey's also playing with the port buoys. Audrey's also at a 36. And indeed, Brenna Morley made a huge move from 600 to 400 to vault into the lead. She now has almost a length on Brenna. Sorry, that's Brenna in the lead. What am I saying? Brenna has now open water on Audrey. This is like a repeat of the Diamond Challenge Cup finals at Henley last week. Brenna now to 38 in the last 250. Here we go, folks. This is a great race. Gold, silver, bronze. Brenna is furiously trying to come back on level terms at a 37. Maricela has a bronze position clearly in her grasp at a 33. Maricela's making a run for silver now. Brenna finish it off at a 37, coming across the line. A little further left. Whoa, that was a great race for silver and bronze. Brenna Morley, winner. Audrey and Maricel from Three Rivers and Grimaldi duking it out there at the end. Maritime and OK City bringing up the end here. So still waiting on confirmation on second and third in that race. Well, that was a great performance by Brenna Morley, making a classic move, running into the last 500 to take the lead. Up now, the men's U19 quad final. Before I talk about that, yesterday's last race resulted in a photo finish, semifinal two of the men's U17 quad. It was won by U17 Sarasota B at 6:52, but second, third, and fourth was Litchfield, followed 0.15 of a second behind by Maritime, and then 0.2 separated Maritime from Conshohocken in fourth place. So that was an amazing race. These kids are giving it everything out here today, folks. All right, men's U19 quad final. This is be the second fastest event of the day, most likely. Lane 1, GMS B. Lane 2, GMS A. Lane 3, Conshohocken. Lane 4, Maritime. Lane 5, Conshohocken B. And lane 6, U18B HP team. And they are past 1,000. looking for a drone shot. Okay, the drone is not in the air yet, so we'll go with the finish line. And it looks like lane 3, Conshohocken A, is battling out with Maritime in lane 4, and also GMS A in lane 2, and also lane 6, U18B High Performance. Here we go. Here's a better shot. Here's the drone. So it is Maritime lane 4 with a 1-seat lead over Conshohocken A in lane 3. Wow, this is a great race. With U18 HP in lane 6 in 3rd place. Coming past the Yacht Club now. Maritime stroking out of 36, just holding off Conshohocken. Rolling out of 34. Into the last 500. Maritime seems to have pulled out to about a half-length lead on Conshohocken, who is still battling fiercely. Maritime has really jacked the rate up now. They are going for it. They're at a 38 coming into the last 250. Conshohocken still in second. Holding on to a closed length lead. Still wood on wood, as we used to say in the old days. They're at a 38. Third place, neck and neck between GMSA and U18B. Wow, nice move by Maritime to seal the deal here. Look at this. Nice and long, really pushing it out. At a 38. Maritime first, Conshohocken second. HP third. GMSB. Conshohocken B in fifth. And GMS A in sixth place. Another fabulous race. So again, gold, Maritime, Sanzone, Hilton, Umbargi, and Legenzowski winners. Second, Conshohocken. Third place, U18 HP team. Fourth, GMSB. Fifth, Conshohocken B. And sixth, GMSA. Up next, women's U19 double final. Lane 1, Graham Kanezi from DeBary, Detroit. Lane 2, Ulitsky and Ulitsky from Palo Alto. Lane 3, Gildersleeve and Howe from Oklahoma City High Performance. Lane 4, Begtol and Vanderwell from Y-Quad Cities. Lane 5, Bricker and Mora from U18G HP. And lane 6, Savastano and Lee from the mighty Vesper Boat Club. The race is underway. appear to be in the first 500. No view on who's doing what yet. Oh, that's a nice view of Philadelphia in the background as we're getting a nice shot from the drone of the course. Okay, the doubles are starting to come into view as they're approaching the boathouse at the 1,000-meter mark. It seems like OK City is in the lead in lane 3, followed by Palo Alto in lane 2 and Vesper in lane 6. All crews are overlapping at this point. OK City is steaming down the course at a 36. Seem to have opened up open water on Palo Alto. It was at a 34. They seem to have a closed length on Vesper in lane 6. Rowing at a 35. The top 3 crews have opened up perhaps a length and a half of open water on 4th brace in lane 5, and then 5th and 6th in lane 4 and 1. OK City still at 36. They have approximately 1 length open on Palo Alto, who has approximately 1 length on Vesper. Palo Alto has raised their rating to 34 in an effort to challenge Y Quad. All crews are well into the 3,500. All steering well. Y Quad's making a move now. Attempting to get a little more room between them and Palo Alto. Okay, now we can see what's going on as the drone shifts. Okay, yes, it is a clear 1 length open lead Oklahoma City has on Palo Alto. And Palo Alto has about a 1 length lead on Vesper. We just caught a glimpse of them. There we go. Familiar maroon and gray blades. Vesper at a 34. Lane 1, DWRA seems to be slightly open water behind Vesper in 4th place. 5th place, U18G. And 6th is, well, OK City still to 36. As they're past the Yacht Club and approach and just past 500 to go. They have dominated this race. They're now at a 37. Palo Alto still to 34. OK City out of 37, coming into the last 250 red buoys. Palo Alto rowing a longer stroke at the 35. Still about a length open behind. Vesper in lane 6, still in third at a 37. Lane 1, DWRA is in fourth place. Perhaps close water on Vesper. They've raised their rate to 35. And as they approach the line, OK City in lane 3. Palo Alto in second. And Vesper Boat Club for the bronze. DWRA in fourth place. And battling out for fifth and sixth. U18 GHP in fifth, and Y Quad sixth place. Well done, ladies. Fine racing. I see Row 2K is in the house. Hello, Ed. Okay, fourth race of the day is on the course. This is the men's U17 double final. Moss and Ramos, Pioneer Valley in lane 1. Lane 2, Rostek and Alman from Rockland. Lane 3, Schmidt and Lowry from Niskayuna. Lane 4, Rogers and Blackwell Frank from Parati. Lane 5, Butler and Warshaw from Litchfield Hills. And lane 6, Crop and Brown from Nereid. Hopefully that Coxon sees that 4 ahead of him. Up, just in time. That was close. right, men's U17 doubles are approaching the Cooper River Boathouse. From this vantage, it looks like, well, that's better vantage. Lane 5, Litchfield Hills seems to be the early leader, followed closely by Nereid in lane 6 and Parati in lane 4. Litchfield's at a 34. They have approximately a third of a length lead over Nereid in lane 6, who are flirting with the starboard buoys, but staying inside the course. They're at a 33. Parati at a 32, about 2 seats behind Nereid. So this is a dogfight for the first 3 positions. Lane 1 is about a half length. PVRA is about half length behind third place at this point. As we're in the middle of the third 500. This is decision time. How much do you want it? Oh, this is a good shot. So Litchfield has almost a length lead on PVRA in lane 1. Parati in lane 4 and Nereid in lane 6 are all within a seat or 2 of each other. Lane 3 is making a move. Now. Niskayuna, they're surging to join the other 3 contenders for silver and bronze. This is turning into quite the race. Lane 2, Rockland seems to be heading towards the port buoys at the moment. Okay, Litchfield still has just about a length. The other boats aren't going anywhere. Niskayuna has now surged into what looks like second place with a monster move in the third 500. Wow. That's a classic move from behind. They're at 35. Clearly in second place now. Making a move on Litchfield. Litchfield's at a 34. And they're all in the last 500. This is going to be a barn burner, folks. Can Litchfield hold them off? Okay, approaching the 250 to go. Litchfield at 34. Niskayuna just went up. They're at 36. Hard to tell from this angle. Wow, this is going to be close, I think. Litchfield still at 35. They have not responded. Niskayuna is cranking it up here. Look at that stroke, man. They're at 37. Rockland is making a move now. Rockland's coming on strong. Rockland's at a 41. And it's Niskayuna, Rockland, Litchfield. Nereid, Parati, and PVRA. Wow, what a great race, folks. That was close. Can't get much better racing than that, folks. Niskayuna and Rockland made some monster moves there in the last 750. Great racing. These kids have been well coached. And Niski sorry. Carrying on. Women's U19 8 final. This should be a fabulous race. We have Ready, Set, Row, lane 1. CRI, lane 2. Row West, lane 3. U18G, lane 4. Penn AC, lane 5. And Greenwich, lane 6. I want to welcome all of our fans watching on the YouTube feed. You could be watching Wimbledon, but instead you're here watching some great junior American rowing. We appreciate it. U19 Women's 8 final is in the second 500 now. Hard to tell from the finish line camera. Apparently lanes 4 and 5 seem to be up at the front. So that Penn AC in lane 5 with the blue and yellow oars. Lane 4 U18G. The other crews are still, here we go. Drone shot, still fairly close. Lane 5 Penn AC looks to have a slight lead over U18G in lane 4. Followed by Row West in lane 3. CRI in lane 2. Ready, Set, Row to the far right in lane 1. And Greenwich in lane 6 appear to be in 6th place as they cross the 1,000 meters now. This is where the Cox start calling a move. And indeed, U18G has just made a move and are now 2 seats ahead of Penn AC. Rowing out of U18G is 36. Penn AC also at a 36. Lane 3 Row West is also challenging for the lead. They're 4 seats down on Penn AC. Also at a 36. 4th place CRI is a length down on Row West. Ready, Set, Row in lane 1 is a length down on the CRI. And Greenwich seems to be challenging Ready, Set, Row now for that 5th place position. Okay, coming into the yacht club, 6:50 to go. U18G is now a half-length lead on Penn AC, who are still keeping a seat or 2 lead on Row West. All right, it's headed to the last 500s. This is still a barn burner, anybody's race. Top 4 crews vying for medals. U18G in the white blades in lane 4 at a 35. Seem to be slowly inching away from Penny C. Out of 33, Penny C maintains a 3-seat lead on Row West. Row West at 37. Here we go. Last 250. U18G hanging on for their lead. Just a foot of open water now. They're really pouring it on here, trying to get clear. They're at a 38. Penny C at a 37. Row West at a 40, cranking, trying to reel in the top two boats here. HP is a 38. And as they come to the line, HPG for the gold. Whoa, Row West second, just pips out Penny C for the bronze. All right, order finish, U18G, gold. Row West, silver. Penny C, bronze. Fourth place, CRI. Fifth place, Ready, Set, Row in lane 1. And lane 6, Greenwich, sixth place. That was a fine move by Row West Racing. On the course now, event 6, men's U19 Coxed 4 final. Lane 1, CRI D, stroke Ljunggren. Lane 2, CRI A, stroked by Christian Sauer. Lane 3, Greenwich, Peter Scott at stroke. Lane 4, U18B, Ari Rosen at stroke. Lane 5, Oakland Strokes with Angus Gossman in the stroke seat. And lane 6, U18B, stroked by Owen Core. Again, you couldn't ask for better racing conditions. No perceptible wind. Sun is shining. Not too humid yet. I haven't seen any results yet, but we should be looking at some pretty fast times. U19 fours are steaming towards us now. They're just past the 1,000-meter mark. And it appears to be, is that lane 3 with the white blades? Greenwich appears to be up at the front, along with lane 2, CRI A. And also lane 4, HPA. HPA in lane 4 to 36. Pounding it down the course. Greenwich with the white blades at 37. CRI in lane 2 at 36. As the crews approach 500 to go. No drone shot at the moment, but they look fairly bunched. I would guess lane 6, HPB, is also in the running. Here we go. So HPA in the lead with neck and neck with Greenwich. Greenwich seems to be making a move. Maybe Greenwich has a 2-foot lead now over HPA, followed closely by CRI, maybe 3 seats down on HPA. It's anybody's race. These top 3 crews are duking it out. CRI's at a 36. Greenwich clinging to a 1-seat lead, rowing at a 38. HPA is making a move. So is CRI. CRI and HPB are tied now for second. Sorry, HPA. Greenwich clinging to a 3-seat lead. They've just gone up. Greenwich now to 38. Last 30 strokes, folks. Greenwich out of 39. HPA's responded. 37. CRI to 38. Just a few seats in it here, folks. As they come to the line. Wow. Unofficially, Greenwich 3 feet over HPA, followed by CRI. And then HPB, CRID. And Oakland Strokes in 6th. Fine racing for the medals there. I clocked Greenwich at over 40 strokes a minute there, the last 10 strokes. Up next, Event 7, Women's U17 Cox 4 Final. Lane 1, Row America Rye. Lane 2, U18G. Lane 3, U17 Dev Camp. Lane 4, Greenwich. Lane 5, PNRA Mercer. Lane 6, TBC Racing. Okay, the race is underway. They're in the early strokes of their start now. Hard to say at this point. Looks like lanes 3 and 5 may have a slight advantage over 4 and 6. Okay, 500 meters in. It looks like U17 Dev Camp in lane 3 has established almost a length lead over lanes 2, 4, and 5, and lanes 1 and 6 currently trailing. U17 out of 34, rowing with a starboard side bucket. Italian rig, as we used to say back in the day. And lanes 2, U18G and Greenwich are locked in a fierce battle for second place, both about a length down on U17 Dev. I would say lane 2, U18G has perhaps a 1-seat lead over Greenwich currently. Fourth place, PNRA Mercer in lane 5. Row America Rye, 5th. And TBC Racing in lane 6, currently in 6th place, about a half length down on Row America. Very beautiful, long, relaxed rowing out of U17 Dev Camp. Picking it up and pushing it away. Very nice job. Out of 34. Greenwich and U18G seem to be in a virtual tie for second round. Greenwich seem to be taking move now, but not sure if it's having any impact. And 18G has a port side bucket. That's interesting. Starboard stroking. U18G to 32. I would say Greenwich has a 3-foot lead on HPG for second place. U17 Dev still maintaining approximately a 1-length lead out of 34. As the lead crews go by the yacht club. Coxswains are getting them prepared for the supreme effort coming up. They uncork all their last reserves. U17 Dev at 33. Greenwich seems to be making a move. Well, it's hard to tell from here. U18G is now closed on them and is in second place over Greenwich. Greenwich has slipped back to third, perhaps 2 seats behind U18G. So the 2 crews with the buckets seem to be moving out on the field here. U17 Devs raise their rate to 35 as they start to run through the sprint sequence. Greenwich at a 36. U18G at a 34. Still U17 Dev clinging on to the less than a length lead. In the last 250 now. U17 Dev at a 37. Greenwich at a 38. U18G at a 36. And as they come to the line, U17 Dev, 18G, sorry, Greenwich second, U18G third. Great race between those 3 crews. Okay, coming to the line, we have piano right, Mercer. TBC Racing. Row America Rye. Well done, ladies. Fine racing. So U17 Dev, gold. Greenwich, silver. U18G, bronze. And the action never stops here, folks. On the race course now, men's U17 8 final. Lane 1, U17 Chattanooga. Lane 1. Lane 2, Greenwich. Lane 3, U17 Racing Team Ashland. Lane 4, U17 Saratoga. Lane 5, U17 Sarasota. Is this getting monotonous here? Lane 6, TBC Racing. So 4 U17 development camps from USRowing and clubs in lanes 2 and lane 6. Hey, Willie, help me out with my geography. Where's Ashland? Is that in Texas? You have any idea where Ashland is? Oregon. Thank you. Okay. So we have teams from Tennessee, Connecticut, Oregon, New York, Florida, and Washington, D.C., our nation's capital. I've just been told that Ashland, Oregon is the home to one of the premier Shakespeare festivals in America. Not sure what time of year that is, but you should Google it. If you're a fan of the Bard, you should check it out. So here we go. The crews are in the second 500 now. And it appears to be, my brother Kevin's just arrived. What up, bro? And lane 3, U17 racing team. Coxed by Bennett Russell from my current hometown of Palm City, Florida. Has a slight lead over lanes 4 and 5. U17 Saratoga and Sarasota. Ashland with a starboard stroke and a port bucket. Currently at a 35, approximately 2-seat lead over Sarasota and Saratoga. Seem to be in a dead heat for second place. But now Saratoga lane 4 seems to be making a move. I'd say it's a 1-seat difference between the top 3 crews here. Saratoga at a 36. Sarasota also at 36. Ashland at a 36. Ashland appears to have a 3-seat lead currently on Saratoga, who have a 5-seat lead on Sarasota in third. Fourth place, Greenwich in lane 2. Fifth place, Chattanooga in lane 1. Well, I'd say Chattanooga and TBC are tied for 5th in lanes 1 and 6 respectively. But Greenwich is now making a move on 3rd place. They're only half length down on Sarasota. Greenwich is now to 36.5. Ashland maintaining their lead. It's down to a 3-seat lead at this point over Saratoga. As they're into the last 500, now they're going to start to crank it up. They're all about 36. Let's see how high we can get these ratings. Ashland up to a 38. Saratoga to 38. Sarasota at 37. Top 2 crews duking it out. This is going to be a close one, folks. Pay attention. Ashland's going up. Ashland at a 40. Saratoga at a 40. 41 for Ashland. Oh, too close to call. Photo finish, folks. 3rd place, Sarasota. 4th place, Greenwich. 5th, TBC. 6th place, Chattanooga. Wow, that was a barn burner, folks. Ashland and Saratoga stroking well over 40 those last 15 strokes. We'll have to wait for the finish line tower to review the tape on that. Incredible racing. That's what it's all about, folks, leaving it all on the water. Fantastic racing. We were given instructions yesterday in the finish line tower to not jump around or make any sudden movements as the crews go over the line because it'll jiggle the tower and may upset the finish line tower. So I was getting pretty excited there. Hopefully I didn't mess something up there. Wow. Well, we'll announce the winner when we have it. Winning time was 6:14.2. We still don't know who that belongs to. Yes, folks, it's a game of inches. If you can get your stroke a few inches longer, get a little more acceleration off your finish, it all comes down to a couple centimeters per stroke. By the end of 2,000 meters, you have half a boat length. In this case, it looked like about less than a tenth of a second between first and second. We're looking at about less than a foot difference. Well, event 9 is next, women's U17 quad final. Lane 1, Potomac. Lane 2, CRI. Lane 3, U18G. Lane 4, U17 Dev. Lane 5, PCRA. And lane 6, Row America Rye. And the results are up on here now. We have U17 Racing Team Ashland as the gold medal winner. 14/100ths of a second ahead of U17 Saratoga. Well done, both crews. Third, Sarasota. Fourth, Greenwich. Fifth, TBC. Sixth, Chattanooga. That was the fastest time of the day so far. All right, our next race, women's U17 quad final. Appears to be lane 4, U17 Dev. Maybe having the lead along with U18G in lane 3 with the white blades. Lane 5, PCRA. Yep, I'd say U18G has a small lead over U17 Dev to their left. Followed by PCRA in lane 5. CRI in lane 2. And Potomac in lane 1 and Row America Rye in lane 6. U18G seems to be extending their lead at this point as the crews are in the third 500. They have a little bit of open water over U17 Dev in lane 4. Sculling along nicely out of 36. They now have about a length open on second place U17 Dev. Who was at a 32 and seems to be being sucked into the starboard buoys. Hopefully they can make it. Okay, they're turning back now. Staying in their lane. Good. The officials did not have to warn them. Third place seems to be fairly close between PCRA in lane 5, CRI in lane 2, and just behind the Potomac in lane 1, just going through a bunch of geese at the moment. Good, they all flew out of the way. Very nice demonstration of fine sculling by U18G in lane 3. Nice patient catches, picking up the bow, accelerating the handle through the body, sending it away cleanly. Just what you like to see. Whole crew sitting up nice and tall. Really reaching into the catch. At a 36, just continuing to move on the field. They have about 2 lengths of open now as they come into the last 500. Third place is now clearly CRI in lane 2, who have a closed length lead on Potomac in lane 4 and PCRA in lane 5, perhaps 2 seats behind Potomac. It's a good shot of CRI. U18 HPs cranked it up to 38 as they hit the 250 buoys. Still U17 Dev in lane 4, safely in second. CRI seems to have solidified to third place. Followed by Potomac. PCRA. Real Mercury as they come to the line here. U18G winners. U17 Dev. CRI. Potomac. PCRA. And Romark Arai. Congratulations, U18G. Fine performance. Silver medal again, U17 Dev. Bronze medal, CRI. Another good race coming up now. Men's U19 single final. We have Stephen Gower from Albany in lane 1. Jack Stone from Narragansett, lane 2. Lane 3, Thomas Foltz from Virginia. Lane 4, Matthew Marchioni, Wayland Weston. Lane 5, Joshua Lauser, East End. Lane 6, Nicholas Matejak from Greenwich. This was the most heavily subscribed event. 75 scullers were in the time trial, and now it's whittled down to these final 6. Who will be the 2018 national champion? Once again, this is Brian Colgan doing the announcing this morning. I'll be joined by Jim Glavin in about 45 minutes. If my brother Kevin is around and not otherwise occupied, I have an extra seat here, bro. Come on up. After all, we can't let Sean have all the announcing fun. He was having fun at the Royal Henley. So the other Colgan brothers need to chime in. So it's still pretty far away. The first 500 meters just been passed. All 6 scullers seem reasonably close together. I really can't see much between it. Let's get some ratings here. Lane 1, Albany is at a 28. Jack Stone of Narragansett, lane 2 is at a 33. Thomas Foltz is at a 32.5. Marchioni's at a 37. Can that be right? Joshua Lauser in lane 5 is at a 29. Nicholas Matijak, lane 6, at a 36. So a lot of variation in stroke rating here, but they all seem to be reasonably close together, so whatever they're doing seems to be working. Foltz in lane 3 is down to a 35. Marchioni still at a 36. These are high rates these single scullers are cranking away here. Some more Canada geese are heading onto the course. Now in lanes 1 and 2, heading towards 3. I once lost a race due to a goose hitting my bowman's blade. I really don't like them very much. I would guess maybe it's lanes 4 and 3 seem to have a slight lead on the rest of the competition. Foltz in lane 3 has come down to a 32. Marconi still at 35. And Marconi seems to have about a 1-length lead on Joshua Lauser in lane 5 and Thomas Foltz in lane 3 as they're approaching 700 to go. Up. Geese are getting out of the way. That's a little unnerving, though. It's a shame we can't do a better job of keeping them off of this course. Marconi. Open water now. Opening it up, and Foltz may have just gone into second over Lauser. Jack Stone is in fourth, half length behind Lauser. Gower in fifth. Matijak in sixth as they cross 500 meters to go. Marconi out of 37. He's been stroking it between the 36 and 37 the entire race. This is just unbelievable. He is. Have a seat. This is a fine display of single sculling here, folks. The future is bright for American sculling. Marconi's up to a 38. Fultz has raised it to a 36. Jack Stone at 35. Lauser at 35 as well. As they come to the line. This will be close for the medals. Wow. Well, Marconi was the winner, but it looks to me, unofficially, Joshua Lauser was second, and Fultz and Stone were too close for me to call. So we're not sure who got the bronze. We shall see. Wow, great racing. All these crews are about north of 37 strokes at the end. Fantastic job. Put a headphone if you want. I'm now joined by my brother Kevin Colgan. So Kevin, you were a national champion in the junior quadruple sculls. What did you think of that men's U19 final a little while ago?
Well, it was a fantastic race, Brian.
Yeah,
quad's a really nice boat to race in. It's nice and fast, and you got to get a good swing on it, and it was a great race.
Yeah, you get in a good quad. It's nothing like it.
Hell, true. You can just fly, right?
Can be a challenge getting all eight oars in sync, but when you do it, man, you motor. All right, from the single to the pair. This is a women's U19 pair final. Lane 1, Vesper Boat Club. Lane 2, Wayland Weston. Lane 3, Greenwich Composite. Lane 4, Row America Rye. Lane 5, Greenwich. Lane 5, PNRA Mercer. Lucy Coven in that lane 3. Any relation to Jamie Coven, I wonder? A little bit of genetic selection going on here. So the race is underway. They've crossed the 500-meter mark. Lane 1 seems to be being sucked into the black hole of the port buoys at the moment, but now they're coming off of it. Other crews seem to be doing a fine job. I don't see any referees waving white flags and steering people, which is always a good sign. Looks like it's lane 3, Greenwich Composite with the early lead. Yeah, lane 1's unfortunately having some real trouble steering. It just came off the starboard buoys. Now they're heading back to the port buoys. Oh, that's a shame.
Singles, bow 5. Singles, bow 5. Please hold water.
And Greenwich Composite has a commanding lead at this point, coming past the 1,000. I'd say 4 lengths open. steaming down the course at a 35. A little close to port buoys, but keeping it between the navigational buoys. Looks like Royal America Rye is in second place. Almost a length lead on lane 5. Greenwich. Followed by lane 2, Waylon Weston, who is now gone out of their lane and is in lane 3. Lane 6, PNRA Mercer is in 5th. They're steering a good course. And Vesper trailing. Wow, this is just an amazing exhibition of technical skill here in this Greenwich composite boat. They're just motoring away from the competition. Very long at a 36. Really hanging the weight on the blade. Look at the handle acceleration, how they're swinging their bodies into the bow just to send that boat away to finish. If I was a coach, I'd be telling them to tone it down a little bit. If they have other races, they got to save some energy. Yeah, we still have Royal America Rye in second. They've now almost have open water on Greenwich in lane 5, who has a length lead on Waylon Weston in lane 2. Royal America Rye at 33.5.
Thank you, about 5. You can continue. Thank you, about 5.
Greenwich at a 36, just behind them. It looks to be bow on stern. Okay, inside the last 500 now. Greenwich composite, Coven and S. Continuing at a 36. Still playing with the port buoys a little bit. Wow, look at this pair coming in, folks. This is what rowing's all about.
Beautiful, beautiful boat, Brian. Pairs a very unique event.
How to row hard by staying relaxed.
Yep.
And not over pulling your partner. It's just great to see. We're at a 38 now, taking no prisoners. Greenwich composite.
Wow.
All right, good race here for second, third, and fourth. We have Royal America Rye duking it out with Greenwich and Waylon Weston. Royal America Rye second, Greenwich third. Waylon Weston fourth. PNRA Mercer fifth. And Vesper sixth place. Congratulations, Greenwich Composite for the gold. Row America Rye for the silver, and Greenwich for the bronze. Outstanding. Yeah, it just shows how important it is in a pair to be able to go naturally straight without using the rudder. Just have confirmation that is indeed Jamie Combs' daughter, as I suspected. Well done, Dad. You passed on your rowing genes well.
It's a popular event for our family, Brian. You and I have both rowed the straight pair in junior world championships.
That's right. The commentators have some experience in pairs. I raced in the Junior World Championships in the straight pair with Paul Horvat. My brother Kevin was in. That was one of the first Junior Worlds, wasn't it? In Ioannina, Greece, 1970.
Yep.
He raced the pair for America.
For Vesper Boat Club in America.
Both for Vesper Boat Club. Our brother Sean raced the Cox pair in Carapiro in 1978. That was unique. They had the trials in the straight pair, and he and Bruce Ibbotson won. None of them weighing more than 185 pounds, and then they rode the Cox pair, and they won the petite final. So, and of course, our father Chuck.
Undefeated for quite a number of years in both the straight pair and the pair width.
Undefeated in the straight pair and pair width. Sometimes he'd win the Cox pair, they'd drop the coxswain off, row the same boat up, and win the straight pair in a Cox pair boat. And that's when the coxswain was in the stern, folks.
So they put a little sandbag in there and to keep the stern down and race it as a straight pair.
And away they go. Well, you wouldn't see that today, but
late 40s.
It did happen in the 1940s. Yeah, it's because the pairs have rudders, but again, you don't want to use it. So it's really sad to see when a crew starts ricocheting off the port and starboard buoys, and they just, once you get into that mindset, it's just hard to calm down and go straight. All right, speaking of pairs, here we go. Men's U19 pair final. Lane 1, U18B. Lane 2, PNRA Mercer. Lane 3, Maritime. Lane 4, Pioneer Valley Riverfront Club. Lane 5, U18B. And lane 6, also U18B. There's no letter designation, so we'll do our best. And the crews are past the 1,000 meter. Appears to be lane 5, U18B, Exford and Reagan. Seem to have established first place. About a length lead over Maritime in lane 3. And then lanes 2 and 4 are level for third place, trailed by 6 and 5. Lane 3 Maritime is making a move. Okay, U18B in lane 5 still has about a 1-length lead over Maritime, who has just made a strong move, and it looks like they might be drawing level right as they come into the last 750. Let's get a rating here. Maritime at a 35. U18B at a 36. Yep. Okay. All right. Someone has lost a black Fitbit. It's at the finish line tower. So if you're missing it, come and get it. But here we go. This is a Donnybrook here for the gold coming into the last 500. It's still U18B in lane 5 and Maritime in lane 3. Nothing in it. I'd say maybe 2 feet advantage to Maritime, but that's it. Yes, it's very hard going all out while still maintaining composure, keeping the boat set, keeping going straight. These kids have put a lot of time into this lineup. Okay, Maritime's at a 36. U18B at a 38. As they're inside the last 40 strokes. Maritime, what do you think, Kev? Is that a seat?
I would say so.
Maybe a seat.
I would say so.
Slightly understroking U18B. But anything can happen, folks. Inside the last 250.
Okay, it's heating up. What do you think, Brian? Are pairs made, or they're just they just click? You hop into a boat and you click. What do you think, Brian?
Pretty much after 2 practices, you know if it goes or not.
Yeah, that's my feeling as well.
Maritime's at a 38. HPB sitting up and cranking it up here. They're at a 41. Coming to the line. Be very still.
What?
Be very still. This is rickety. Here we go. Coming to the line. Bellman looks over. Maritime is the winner. Under a length, U18B. Pioneer Valley. PNRA, 18B. And U18B in lane 6. Wow, that was a great sprint. Both those 2 lead crews, Maritime and U18, really displaying very good technique, holding together, cranking it up above 40. Congratulations. Maritime the winner. U18B silver. Pioneer Valley Riverfront Club in the bronze. Congratulations. That's a great race, Kev, huh?
It was a fantastic race.
Wow. Almost makes me want to go out and row a pair again.
Hell, true.
Unfortunately, I've trashed enough of my my discs and lumbar spine that I can no longer sweep row. But it is still fun.
Well, and the pair is such a unique boat, Brian. I mean, I haven't raced a boat since the junior team, almost a half century ago. But the double's a close second for my favorite boat to race.
Do you prefer rowing the stroke seat and double or the bow seat, Kev? What do you think?
I like both, but I think I do better in the bow, and I feel like I have more control over the steering and, of course, the timing and everything else. So, yeah, as being a control freak, I like to be in the bow.
I prefer the bow as well. Just I think I'm better at melding with the stroke man in the double than I am in setting the pace. Especially now, I just can't seem to get the rating up in 1,000-meter races anymore.
Yeah.
When I race my single, I seem to be stuck at a ceiling of about 30.
Yeah, I prefer bow in all sculling races, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. For the same reason, you can control the race, you can call the race, you can steer the race, and you can blend in and make the the boat really fly.
Yeah, you always were good at steering, except for that time in the head of Schuylkill where you ran over that stick, and we dragged it for the last mile and a half. I didn't appreciate that. I guess in hindsight would have stopped below Columbia and let the stick drag float away and then pick it up again. But I guess you can learn something even in your old age. Won't do that again. We knew something was wrong, didn't we?
Yep. That was obvious. It's like an anchor.
All right, U19 single is on the course for the women. Lane 1, Narragansett. Lane 2, Row America Rye. Lane 3, Oklahoma City, Caitlin Gildersleeve. I think she just raced the double, didn't she? Lane 4, Pacific. Lane 5, Irina Litsky, Palo Alto, also in the double. And lane 6, DWRA. Yeah, Gildersleeve and Ulitsky were 1-2 in the double just an hour and a half ago. See if they can turn it around, rehydrate, refuel, come back at it. It looks like, what do you think, Kev? Lane, is that lane 3 in the lead? What do you think? Hard to tell.
1.
Lane 1, you think?
No. This is 1 over
Yeah.
here.
It's hard to tell till we get the drone shot. I think lane 3 and lane 5 might be out there, which are Gildersleeve and Ulitsky. That's impressive. But it's still early days. We're still in the second 500. They're just approaching 1,000 meter now. Let's get some ratings. Gildersleeve's at a 33 in lane 3. Who else we have here? Lane 5, Ulitsky seems to be in second. She's at a 30. Carmen from Pacific, lane 4, is also at a 30. See what the red jersey in lane 6 is at. Mary Claire in lane 6 is also at a 30. I would say it's pretty clearly Gildersleeve. Oh, here we go, drone shot. Oh, yes, Gildersleeve clearly in the lead here. Sculling down the course at a 33, overstroking a competition, setting a blistering pace. And as I suspected, Ulitsky in lane 5 is in second place. She's at a 30. And third place, throw a blanket on lanes 2 and 4, and lane 1 perhaps is making a move. So let's see, Jane Reynolds for Row America Rise in third. Elise Carmen in fourth.
Thanks.
So, I was wondering about that. Okay. Yeah, there's a.
Wait till after the race.
Yeah. Okay, here we come. The drone is not showing lane 3, who has a fairly commanding lead. Palo Alto's in second. Third place up for grabs. I would say the advantage. No, I can't call between lanes 2 and 4 at all. Carmen and Reynolds are duking it out here. Well, lane 1 has made a move. Narragansett now pulled even with Row America Rye for the third position. And Carmen is maybe 2 seats behind. Yeah, good move by Narragansett there in the last 500 to pull into third place. Coming to the line, last 250. Gildersleeve from OK City. Rowing in at a 30. I think that doubles final took a little bit out of her, but she's keeping it going. Ulitsky still in second, but Gateskill lane 1 is making a move. This will be close for the medals. Gildersleeve from OK City crosses the line first. Followed by Ulitsky. Narragansett 1 length behind. Carmen in 4th. Reynolds 5th. And Graham in 6th. So congratulations, Caitlin Gildersleeve, gold, Irene Ulitsky, silver, and unofficially, of course, Portia Gateskill, bronze.
Now the awards will begin at 10 a.m. just up the course from the College Fair tent.
So if you want some hardware, come and get it. I believe it's no particular order, so when you get your crew together, you can come up to the stage, get your picture taken with your medals. You'll be on your way. Next up, women's U19 straight 4 final, the 4 without coxswain. Okay, again, no coxswain, so someone in the boat has the rudder cables attached to their right foot, which pivots on the toe. Hence, it's said to be they're towing the boat, and it's up to them keep the boat straight, heading down the course. Generally, the stroke of the bow will do the steering. It's generally easier for the stroke in these type of buoy courses to steer because they can look behind and see the buoys recede behind them without crew members in the way. But it depends. And that was a 3-man where I would typically steer from back in the day.
All
All
right,
right.
towed from the 2nd and 3rd seat, Brian, as well.
You did?
Yeah.
For 2-seat? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it depends. Everyone has a job in a straight 4. The stroke sets the pace. Bowman generally steers, but not always. The 2-man is frequently the quarterback, calling the moves, and the 3-man just matches the stroke and pulls. So crews here: TBC Racing, lane 1, lane 2, PNRA Mercer, lane 3, White Marsh, lane 4, Greenwich, lane 5, U18G, and lane 6, the Vesper Tigers. And just past 1,000. It looks like. I'd say. Where's everybody? 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah. PNRA Mercer lane 2 and Vesper in lane 6 seem to be out in front. I would say PNRA has about half length on Vesper. 3rd place in lane 5, U18G. 4th place currently White Marsh. TBC 5th and Greenwich 6th. Things can change. Here we go. Well into the 3rd 500. I'd say PNRA Mercer has almost a length on Vesper. PNRA Mercer at a 35 strokes per minute race pace. Vesper at a 38 is making a move. I think they've closed it up a little bit, maybe half a length. And open water behind is U18 HP. This could be interesting. They're now coming about 7:50 to go. Anything can happen at this point, folks, for the top two positions. All crews seem to be steering fairly well, which is good to see. When I say that, U18 HP seems to be playing with the port buoys a little bit, but they're keeping it straight enough. Let's say PNRA Mercer still has an edge over Vesper as they go past the dock of the yacht club. 600 to go. Get some deep breathing in. Just a little extra swing. Start getting ready for the last 500. Okay, PNRA is in the picture. Can't quite see Vesper at this point. A little bit to the right. There we go. Oh, okay. So PNRA has broken away from Vesper. They have a quarter length open water, I think, at least. As they're in the last 500. PNRA Mercer at a 35. Vesper's at a 37. PNRA Mercer just went up. They're at a 38 as they're just going through the 250 to go mark. Really dropping her catches in well here, PNRA Mercer. 37, 38. Vesper at a 38 as well. As they come towards the line. Very long in the PNRA Mercer crew. .40 strokes a minute for PNRA Mercer as they head towards the line. Vesper just went up. Vesper at a 40 as well. PNRA Mercer for the gold. Vesper for the silver. U18G for the bronze. White Marsh just holding off Greenwich. And TBC sixth. All right, congratulations, PNRA Mercer for the gold. Vesper Boat Club for the silver medal. U18G for the bronze. Fourth place, White Marsh, Greenwich fifth, and TBC sixth. Next up, men's U17 single final. Kevin, why don't you call the lanes?
So we have lane 1, Sean Brown from Nereid. We have Lucian Gateskill from Narragansett in lane 2. Lane 3, we have Nicholas Arano from Oak Neck. Lane 4, we have Peter Lowry, Niskayuna Boat Club. Lane 5, we have Corey Rogers from Parity Boat Club. And finally in lane 6, we have Malachi Leon from U17 Racing, Ashland. Okay. This is quite a commanding lead here. Way out in front, right, Brian?
That's the way you like it.
That's always the perfect race plan. Stay out in front.
What did Dad used to say? Get out in front and stay there and cross the
Yeah.
line first.
You'd say get out in front and stay there. Of course, the second part of that advice is always the hardest.
And the third part, cross the line first, comes naturally if you fulfill the second tenet of the race plan.
Hell, true.
So who do we have here? The last 500, we have lane 3, Aronoff from Oak Neck. From what we can notice, a unique view from the drone. I'd say Aronoff clearly several lengths in front. Lane, it's in lane 3. What do we got here? Lane Corey Rogers from Parati in lane 5, perhaps in second. Or is it Niskayuna in lane 4? Niskayuna and Parati are neck and neck here. I have to give the edge to Laurie in second place, but they're duking it out here for the silver medal, followed by Narragansett and Nereid, fourth and fifth. Very pronounced body swing out of Aronow here. Bringing it in at 34. Really getting some nice run off the finish here. Very, very clean blade work. Rule number 1, don't slow the boat down. Okay, Laurie has approximately a length. So Aronow 1. Lowry in second. Rogers in third. Gateskill fourth. Brown fifth. And Leon crossing the line in 6. Congratulations. Aronow from Oak Neck, gold medal. Lowry from Niskayuna, silver. Rogers from Parati, bronze. Fourth place, Gateskill from Narragansett. Fifth, Sean Brown from Nereid. And sixth, Malachi Leon from Ashland. Yeah, the yin and yang of rowing is A, yes, you pull hard to make the boat go fast, but B, you have to control what you're doing to not slow it down in between. So Aronow had a nice job there of just dropping the blades in cleanly, cranking on it, really getting a nice reach, cranking on it, and then just before the finish, you take a little bit of pressure off so that the blade kind of slips back into the whirlpool and you extract it cleanly and you just accelerate the boat. Whoever's coach is, you're doing a fine job. I know I had some good sculling coaches in high school. I was coached by the infamous and notorious Gus Ignis, the Hammer. He was my coach sophomore and junior year at LaSalle. He would take out a single scull who was maybe 40 years old. He'd duke it out with me. It took me to junior year until I could beat him. And senior year, I had Jim Barker as a coach. Also, incredible string of successes throughout his career. I think he's just retired from coaching. He's still with us. Amazing character and a great coach. I used to hate the days when he didn't think I was working hard enough. He'd set his launch right behind me and on his speed and said, "Brian, we're going to go from Gerard to the Viking. I'm not slowing down. Don't let me hit you." I swear the whites of my eyes were big as saucers. Oh, okay. You got to go. I'm not sure if that would be safe sport compliant coaching technique these days, but it was effective.
I think there may have been a few coaches. I remember Emil Henwood, of course, was one of Dad's crewmates in his straight four, and he was coaching at Vesper, and he would do that to his son in the double, just set the...
Sure can hear you. He would do that too?
Yep, just set it on cruise control and sit a few feet behind their bow, and they'd be terrified and rowing down the river.
Didn't do much for relaxation, but it certainly got you to pull hard.
Right, there's a lot of characters in this sport.
Oh my God!
I guess that's what makes it so colorful, right?
It was. Some coaches used some very colorful expressions back in the day, like Well, something you can repeat. One was, what are you doing? You couldn't pull a drunken sailor off your sister.
So on PC. Right?
Yeah, there's other ones I can't repeat. You can see me later if you want to hear some more coaching expressions from back in the day. All right, women's U17 double final. We have Ensley and Burbine from. Just says Ensley. Oh, from SA. Sorry. Herring. What is SA? St. Andrew's School or St. What's that? Oh, Atlanta. There's a few St. Andrews around here. St. Andrews is from Atlanta. Why isn't it SAA then? That would make it simpler. Anyway, lane 2, Herring and Tatum from Founders. Lane 3, Morley and Lida from Quad Cities. Lane 4, Meade Bino from OK City. Lane 5, Nash and Haskell of U17 Dev. Any relation? Maybe a granddaughter of Ted Nash, perhaps? Lane 6, Siegel Lenahan from GMS. And as they're coming into the third 500, about 800 to go. It looks like the red boat from Y Quad Cities has about a length lead over Oklahoma City. Yeah, junior sculling has really taken off in the Midwest. It's not so much dominated by the coasts anymore. I mean, Y Quads from Quad Cities out in Iowa, Oklahoma City, also doing a fine job with small boats. Beautiful job here. Another beautifully coached Y Quad boat. Sculling, pushing it along to 34. Can't really see it from this angle, but very little stern check at the catch. You always want to just drop that blade in, keeping the weight off the foot stretchers till the blade's in, and then you go. If you can do that, you see very little dipping in the stern, which of course is the boat going backwards, which is not what you want. Okay, Oklahoma City. It's out of 36 as they come into the sprint. Third place appears to be lane 1, St. Andrews, followed closely by Founders. But Y Quad seems to have a pretty commanding lead at this point as they head into the last 250. And they've just gone up at a 36. $37 now for Y Quad. OK City at 36.
They're just sculling that boat along, Brian, and make it look effortless almost.
Yeah, looks can be deceiving. As the rating comes up, you can see a little bit of stern check, but that's just because the bodies are moving so quickly back and forth. You can't avoid it. 37 now for Quad Cities. Bringing it home. Nice and clean finishes. Very nice to say. Okay, Y Quad with the gold. Oklahoma City for the silver. And Founders has pulled it away from SA, it looks like here. For the bronze. Followed by St. Andrews in fourth. U17 Dev. GMS in sixth place. Congratulations, yet another win for Y Quad Cities. Another medal for OK City in silver, and the Founders gets the bronze. Good job, ladies. And it's now after 10 o'clock, so if you'd like to receive your medals, please head to the stage in the parking lot just behind where the College Fair tent is.
And we still have that black Fitbit, so if you've misplaced yours, it's at the finish tower.
Wish I had that Fitbit. I think my heart rate's been elevated a few times following some of these finishes. This is good stuff here. Still waiting for the Glav to put in an appearance, but brother Kevin's doing a fine job subbing in. Kevin, you went to St. Joe's back then with St. Joe's College with the Glav, didn't you, or was he ahead of you?
Yes, he was I think he was a senior when I was a freshman.
Oh, okay.
That was a.
What? There's someone older than you?
Oh my gosh, Brian!
Wow. You must be getting up there.
Yeah, we had a colorful group of people from the coaches down to all the crews.
Well, our dad was a freshman coach, and I went on a few of the road trips, so I can testify to that. Some of the words I heard as an 8-year-old, I can't tell you. But I did learn a lot. Yeah, that's in the days you'd rent a team bus, and when I got tired and started to fall asleep, my dad would just put me on the luggage rack on top of the seats with a pillow on a blanket, and off I drift. Everyone telling racing stories below me. All right, underway. Race 17, men's U19 double final. Lane 1, St. Andrews again. Lane 2, OK City. Lane 3, Maritime. Lane 4, Miami. Lane 5, Conshohocken. And lane 6, Narragansett.
Did you guys know that I was just with your brother and Henry?
Yes, of course, I heard that.
Yeah, and we were talking about you. Oh, yeah. I almost got to tell him the story about the two of us with your dad in Berlin.
Joining us now in the commentator booth is, we were just talking about him, Jim Glavin has arrived.
Hey, how are you, Brian?
Glavin, you're looking great. You're looking well rested, not too jet lagged from going over to Henley with Temple.
It's easy coming back this way. Thank you. It's like old home week.
Yeah, really. Oh, I've got one. Thank you. Whoops. Thanks. So here we go. So, Glav was my coach back in 1976, Vesper Junior team.
It's true.
Going over to Villach, Austria. So what we got here? This is a double final, Jim?
Looks like they're on their way down, huh?
Yeah, they're just approaching the
600 to go. 650.
Yeah, about 750. Can you maybe get that closer to you? This is okay. Yeah, you're on. So what do we? Oh yeah, you've got a thing here as well if you want. The drone shot. Another fine double out of Maritime, it looks like. Maritime has a. I'm getting a little dizzy watching this drone wheel around, but it looks like Maritime and a yellow Empacher. Am I seeing this right, Jim? Or am I confused?
Give me a second.
Yeah.
So here.
Looks like Maritime.
This race, okay.
And Conshohocken maybe in second, just level with Miami.
The Maritime's definitely in the lead. By maybe 2 lengths.
Yeah, I'd say length
2 lengths
open.
open, yep.
But 2, 3, and 4. Oh, we didn't see lane 2. OK City's making a move. They may have gotten into second place now over Miami and Conshohocken. This is a dogfight for the medals. Gold may be sewn up, but yep. Yeah, OK City has made a strong move there in lane 2. As they come into the last 500.
So we've got 2, followed by 4, and it looks like 5 is even with them now, if not slightly ahead by a seat.
Yeah, look at that. Wow, anyone's race here.
Anyone's race for the bronze, and both of them are starting to come on the second place crew from OK City.
Maritime sculling along nicely out of 38.
Just keeping that boat moving. Look at the bow, just
Oh
right
yeah,
out of the water.
look at the run they're getting.
That's sweet. Good body posture, good catches. But that race for second and third is really close now.
Yep.
Looks
Okay,
like lane
okay.
5 is pushing through now, Brian.
Oh yeah, OK City's at a 36. Lane 5, Conshohocken. There you go. My old stomping ground.
There you go.
They're jacking it
All
up.
of our stomping grounds. Big push now from 5 and 4 for that second place medal.
Wow.
Maritime's
shake
coming
out.
through. They'll win easily. Looks like lane 5 has got second, although 4 is pushing really hard now. They've raised the rating,
Okay, Maritime with the win.
and here comes 2 again.
Look at this, Conshohocken. Miami, third. OK City, fourth. Yeah, let's. Okay, so again, congratulations, Maritime on the gold. Second place, from what we could tell, was Conshohocken. Third place, Miami. Well done, guys. Yeah. Up. Glav, here's the.
This should be a big one.
Should be a barn burner. Why don't you call the crews here?
Okay, so in the men's U19 8 final, in lane 1, CRI B. Lane 2, Oakland Strokes. Lane 3, the U18B High Performance Team. Lane 4, a second boat from CRI rather, that should be the A boat. In lane 5, the U18B High Performance Team. And in lane 6, GMS.
Now in the U17 8 final, it was 14/100ths of a second between first and second, with a time of 6:13 and change. So we'll see what their older brethren can handle in this race. The wind has picked up a little bit. Looks like a slight headwind. So I'd expect. You think these crews will go sub 6? Glad
They should. They should. I mean, you're talking about people that are either high school senior or college freshmen, so should be able to do that.
Bring on the meat.
Even with a slight headwind, they should be able to do that.
Yeah. Of course, these crews haven't been rowing as long together, so I don't think we'll see quite the display of St. Paul did in Princess Elizabeth at Henley.
Well, St. Paul's a remarkable crew. 2 weeks before their win at Henley, they rode a 6-minute flat into a headwind on the course with 6:02. They rode 3 minutes for the first 1,000, had 2 lengths of open, and then rode 3:02 for the second 1,000, and beat the field by 5-6 lengths. And there's some very elite British crews there. But they have 4 guys on their team that last year were on the British national team, 2 of which won a gold medal in the Worlds.
At juniors. Oh.
Yeah. And they're good size. They're really good size. And on the junior team, right.
Yeah, I watched that race twice. I just couldn't believe how well they were. They rode the same time as University of Washington crew in the Thames.
Right. And probably could have given them a better race.
Yeah.
It was really interesting this year because more than in previous years, they opened up the Temple Cup So you had these combination crews from the major universities rowing against the lightweight varsities and the Dad Vale varsities. And then at the next race up, there were crews in there that probably should have been in the Temple, but because of a variety of things, Montclair being one, were delegated to that race. Montclair did, by the way, just a fantastic job over
Now,
there.
what's the order of the 8s in Henley? It's what's the lowest one? Is Temple? You don't know, or is it
I'm sorry.
Temple?
So you have
and
the
then-
Grand. You have the Grand. I mean, from the top down, you have the Grand. You have the Ladies' Plate.
Right.
And the Ladies' Plate had the fewest entries that they can recall in a long, long, long time. I'm not sure exactly why, but I think it's because of these combination crews going into the Temple.
Oxford Brooks was 1-2 in that race.
But yeah, it was an Oxford Brook combination that was second. But Oxford
Yeah.
Brooks is the boat that won the Temple last year. They've moved up this year. So
Are there 4 men's 8s or 3? Was it
four.
Grand, the ladies?
Well, there's 4, and then they have the high school, the Princess Elizabeth.
Yeah. Okay. Somehow I thought it was a 4th kind of college crew, but I guess not. Okay, here we go. What can we see? They're in the third 500. Drone shot. I'd say lanes 3 and 6 have made their mark so far.
See it.
Can-
Shade.
well, yeah, it's hard to see this.
There we go. Yeah, lane 3 has separated from the field. They've got about a length over lane 4. But lane 1 are also putting a big push on at the same time.
Well, let's not forget lane 6. Lane 6 is about a half length down. So U18 HP in lane 3 has a lead over GMS in lane 6. And you're right, lane 4 looks like they're in third, but lane
You're
1
right.
is knocking on the door, seeing if they can
It's a good race.
sniff out a medal. This is a great
It's
race.
another great race for second place. You would expect the high performance teams to be pushing a little bit ahead of most of these other crews, especially their A boat, just because of the selection process. But real great row by GMS to be coming in second into the last 500.
That's right. Yeah, they're just going past the yacht club.
That's a
Good
heck of a
rating.
race for second place.
Yeah.
So you've got if the drone pulls up a little bit, we'll be able to see what's happening in lane 1.
There
But
you go. HP's at a 36.
it looks like lane 6 has dropped back just a hair, but it's 4 across. It literally is 4 across, Brian.
Yeah.
And in fact, lane 1 might be encroaching a little bit on lane 3's lead.
GMS is at a 39 already.
So CRI is coming up.
Okay, they've just crossed 500 to go. Time to sort out the medals.
You got a rating?
Good
Real
job.
good push by lane 1, the CRI B.
Yes. I'd say they're in
So
second
we have
now.
closed water on the leader with lane 1, followed by 4. 6 is still in there as well. So the second and third place medal will be really
They are
hotly
up
contested.
for grabs.
at this
Totally
point.
up for grabs. Here we go. Up. High performance just went up. Ahead of the 250. They're at 38.
You're going to have to just push a little bit higher.
GMI still at 36.
So
GMS
2
just went
and
up.
4
Lane 6 in the blue.
coming
What are they at?
again. But it looks to me like
39.
I know, Brian. It's kind of who you're going to call it for the second and third place finish.
Yeah, this is close.
Looks like
Lane 2 is making a move.
lane 3 is
Oakland
pretty
Strokes.
comfortable out there. Oakland Strokes throwing in some strokes, actually.
Oakland Strokes at a 42.
But look at lane 4. Look at lane 6 coming again.
Lane
One's
6 is
dropped
coming
off
up.
a little bit. A heck of a finish here.
GMS at a 41.
All right, it's going to be impossible to call who finishes second and third.
Wow, let's watch.
Who has the blades in the water? There we go,
HP1.
lane 4.
Lane
Followed
4,
by,
lane 2,
looks
lane
like
5.
2, right? I go 4 and 2. So CR looks like they got
So-
second, and Oakland Strokes unofficially as third.
Second, Oakland Strokes is third, yeah.
Yep.
And then GMS fourth.
Yeah.
Wow,
What a great finish.
great race. So HP team managed to hang on for the win. CRI sprinted up, crank it up to a 42 to get the silver. Just over Oakland Strokes for the bronze. Fantastic. What do you see?
Well done, guys. Well done.
The future is bright for American rowing.
So the next race, Brian, looks like it might be a really good one, too. In men's U17 4, lane 1, Row America. Lane 2, the under-17 racing team from Ashland. Lane 3 is another Ashland boat, U17. In fact, lane 4 is the same, and lane 5, U17 racing from Sarasota, and lane 6, TBC racing. So it should be interesting to see these three boats right next to each other in lanes 2, 3, and 4 from the Ashland program for U17 rowing.
Just by looking at their lane assignments, they're A boats in lane 3, so that was probably a priority boat, and looks like they had the faster time in the semis. B is in lane 4, which again, so the coach was probably honest with his A, B, and C designations. What do you think,
He's made
Coach?
the right choices. We'll see. We'll see. It's always proven on the water.
Things can change between the semi and the finals.
They can.
And they're on the course. Looks like they're in the second 500. It's hardly any time to tell racing stories, Jim, with all these 7-minute centers.
I thought you'd rather me not do that.
Oh, look at this. Winning time for the U19. Let's do some comparison. I like to compare times.
So we opened this course. Your dad opened this course.
Yeah.
And it might have been, I'm trying to think of 76, 74 trials, one of the two. I know we were here in 75, it's probably 74 trials.
The winning time for the U19 men's 8
Right.
was 0.05 of a second behind the winning time of the U17 8. So throw a blanket over that and the top two crews from
There we
U17.
So
Crazy.
the next race is the men's U17 final.
So these are Cox 4s. So level coxswain, so less excitement with the steering. Heavier boat. You'll see slightly lower rates of striking and not quite as much run off the finish.
It'll be interesting to see what rating they come down the course at. I mean, nowadays in the 8s, as you saw in the last race, most people are rowing 37, some have even 38 in the body of the race. In the colleges, there were boats that rode 40. Over in Henley, the Romanian Elite 8,
they rode a
42. Yeah,
42 all the way down the course. I
Right.
couldn't believe that race.
And when the Australians pushed them, they went up to 44, but unfortunately they got a little bit short to 44.
And the Aussies had to row to 41 just to get by them.
But really beautifully significant moves in the middle of that course.
That was
They were
amazing
down
to
by
watch.
almost a seat of open water in the first 700 meters of the boat race.
Oh, they just took off like a bat out of you know where.
So it looks like they're passing the 1,000, Brian.
Yes,
on the
past the
course.
1,000.
Hard
Can't
to tell
from
from this
angle.
point,
Yeah,
both from the shot as well as looking up the course. But
maybe
it looks like it's pretty close.
maybe lane 4, the Ashland B boat might have an edge.
Hard on the angle to see, but
Yeah. Lane 6
So-
seems to be up there as well. I've been dramatically wrong in my estimates from the 1,000-meter mark.
things change.
I generally have the positions right, but the margins can be off by
Yeah,
several lengths.
I think it was a good call in lane 4. It's really close between 4 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
Two slightly back, maybe a length back between those. 6 is even with 2.
Okay, here,
And 1 and 5 have dropped back a bit.
here come the Canada Geese. They're in lane 2, heading towards 3. Let's watch and see what happens. It was a good shot of the
There
geese
we go.
flock.
So, on the drone shot, it looks like 3 has pushed a little bit ahead of 4, but 2 and 4 must be interesting in practice up there down there at Ashland, because to have 3 boats this close together doing pieces can only produce speed overall for the whole program.
Really? Yeah, it is A boat, B boat, C boat
Yep.
with
So
TBC right behind them.
yeah, looks like A slightly ahead of B, and
Oh,
the Geese
get out
are
of the
slightly
way,
ahead
Geese.
of both boats. Right?
All right, nobody hit any goose. That's good.
So there's a good separation here between the first 3 boats from Ashland and then lane 6 TBC Racing. You know, as you said earlier, Brian, you see slightly different kind of movement with these boats. It's a longer race. heavier race. So if you get out ahead, separation is more dramatic than you would have in an 8-oared race.
So the A boat's at a 33, which is a little bit lower than the straight
It
fours.
looks like a 2-seat lead over the B boat, who has, again, maybe 3/4 of the length over the C
Yeah.
boat.
They're
It's
B's at
really tight.
B's at a 35. I'm not sure it's working for them. The C boat's actually just pulled ahead of the B boat from my angle.
They did, by a seat or so, right?
Yeah. Hard to get their rating with
So
all
there's
the
wood
glare.
on between lane 2 on lane 3, and lane 4 is maybe a seat down to the leader, seat of open down to the leader.
Mhm.
But it looks like the boat in lane 3, the A boat, has taken it up a bit and started. There's more separation now.
Yeah, they've pulled it clearly into open water as they're coming into the last 400 meters.
Be interesting to see what they go up to and what the other two boats do to chase them. If they're going to go, they have to go now.
Yeah, there's coxswain's going through the sequence, building up every 10.
But almost a dead even race. It goes back and forth between B and C. It looks like C might have a seat now.
A's,
It's hard to tell. But
A's at a
separated.
35.
So they're still pretty comfortable with that if they're that low.
Yep.
What do you have B and C at? Because they're really pushing each other. They
Yep,
keep changing by strokes.
B's at a 35.
All right. So the lead boat at 35
C's at a
is getting
36.
run past the stern of their boat, which really is good in a 4-oared show.
Mm-hmm.
And the other two boats literally are dead even at this point.
Yeah, they're clearly getting more run per stroke. There's the lead boat's at a 34. And the other one's a jack in their 8. See if they can reel them in. Yeah, they're longer. Catches seem a little quieter.
Yeah, the thing that's really helping, if you look at that A boat come down, you look at their finishes, they're really sending the boat, releasing cleanly. The boat's shooting out there.
Yep.
Lane 5 pushing really hard to come back into this race. Slightly ahead of lane 3, but not by much.
C
gonna be a
boat's
great
not
race
as
for
uniform,
second.
but they're at a 40.
Now they're gone. Here comes lane 2 again. Here comes lane 2, Brian.
Yep.
Oh, here it comes.
Up. A boat 1.
Yeah, I think lane 2 got him. Yeah.
Oh! C boat.
Nice.
C boat just nipped the B boat.
That's a heck of a boat race.
That was. TBC crossing line 4th.
It's great for a program when you can go first, second, and third.
Row America Rye. Did I miss somebody? No, here you go. U17 Sarasota. Wow.
That's the kind of finish you want to see.
The C boat.
Plus, I love to come from behind.
Yeah,
C
absolutely.
boat didn't row as well as the A and the B boat, but they just wanted it more. They jacked
Yeah,
it up
they
to
just-
over 40.
But amazing how much they change. I
Just
mean,
got
when you
it.
have those kind of lead changes in the last 600-700 meters where no one's giving away more than a seat, you know that's real intense, especially when they're teammates. You
Yeah.
know? It's something
Uh-huh.
different if you're rowing against competition, but if you're rowing inter-program
You
competition,
really don't want to lose then.
you don't want to lose. It's all for pride there at the end, Brian.
My sophomore year at Penn, I was in the JV8, and we just lived for that piece or two every practice where we could beat the varsity and drive Ted Nash crazy.
Try not to let Ted hear you say that.
What's that?
Actually, I was going to say try not to let Ted hear you say that. But Ted would probably love that.
Oh yeah.
Next race, Brian, is the 10:30 race scheduled for 10:32. The women's U19 4 in lane 1, CRI. In lane 2, Princeton National Rowing Association Mercer combination. In lane 3, Greenwich. In lane 4, Row West Racing Camp. Lane 5, TBC Racing. In lane 6, the U18G High Performance Team.
Now, Glav, you just got here, so I found out yesterday that TBC is not Turner Broadcasting Company. It's actually Thompson Boat
I
Center.
wouldn't expect not. Lots of good memories from Thompson Boat Center.
Yeah.
George Washington and even Howard had a crew, but they didn't turn the water on there or put the docks until quite late each season. So you go in after a race down there, and if you want to take a shower, you better have some place to get warm afterwards.
Like Vespa when they were doing the rehab.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, after being on the road the last 4 years and rowing out in the hinterlands. You guys in the East Coast have it easy. You complain about not having water maybe or hot water, but at least you have a dock and a boathouse.
Well, it's all part of the apprenticeship of rowing.
That's
As
right.
you grow a program, you have to go through the hardship of wading in.
That's right.
That's why the British wear those, what do they call those high boots that they
Wellies.
wear? Wellies. So, even the Oxford-Cambridge race, they wade in. So they wade in Wellings.
Well, you have to. That's raced on the lower Thames, which is tidal. I mean, I rode for several years at the Tideway Scullers School, which is at the finish line of the Oxford-Cambridge boat race, and there's about a 15-foot variance in the tide every day.
Right. So, Brian, looks like they're coming down and approaching the 1,000, if not right on it at this point. Hard to tell who's in the lead, but it might be the Far Cruise for once. It might be lanes 5 and 6, which should make it very interesting. So that would be.
So somebody was sandbagging in the semis, maybe.
I hope not. It's just maybe the wind right now. If it's a crosshead wind, you're certainly going to get some kind of advantage in 5 and 6 through the first half of the boat race.
If it's a tail though, if it's a crosshead.
Crosshead, yeah, but a tail would be, and it's really hard from our vantage point to see what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, the ripples aren't telling us very much at this point. It looks like
It isn't much though. There was a gust at the U19-8, but now this is calmed down again.
So what do you think we have here, Brian?
I think.
Looks like it's getting much closer. Good. Is one out?
I think lane 5. I was just going to say 5.
Still
Yeah, you're
out.
right. 5 and 6.
5 and 6, and 4
So,
close behind.
TBC in the lead by about what, a seat over
Maybe
UETG?
Maybe 2.
Maybe 2 seats.
Right, 2 seats, but they have again. Lane 6 has about a half-length lead over lane 4.
Row west.
Next closest boat is in lane 1, CRI.
Yep.
So this could be a good race for second place. It looks like Thompson is pretty comfortable at this point.
Well, let's look at U18G. They're only half length
locking in.
Half length down. They're about 800 to go.
Yep.
Anything can happen. Women's U19 Cox 4. Let's get some different.
Very different positioning from the last couple of races where the middle lanes seem to have the real advantage coming down, but in this race it's the 3 outside lanes.
TBC's at a 37 in a Cox 4. That's pretty impressive. U18G's at a 35.
Nothing yet in the terms of the lead change. Lane 5 still ahead, slightly ahead of lane 6. Well, a length ahead of lane 6, but a pretty tight race now for second place. Looks like lane 4, that would be Row West, is coming on, challenging for second place.
Yes, they are. I was going to say Row West was even with CRI, but they've made a monster move here.
They have
clearly pulled ahead of CRI, and now they're
a pretty good place to
about
make
2
it
seats
before you
back
get
of-
into the last 500.
they're at a 37.
Right. And lane 6 has gotten wood on now. Actually, lane 6 is starting to move. Their bow is on the bow person from the Thompson boat.
So maybe that early rating is having its toll on TBC. They're still at a 36.5.
So we can't really see lane, or is that lane 6, Brian? Is that lane 6 down here? Yeah, it is.
That's lane
6.
6.
So it is a lead change here for second place. So we still have lane 5 in first.
I'd say Row West
Lane
is now in
4
second. Yeah,
is
lane
second, and they have wood on to the Thompson boat, and it looks like the U18 high performance team has dropped off just a bit, maybe even with lane 1 CRI.
Was that lane 1 or lane 2?
Oh, that's lane 2. You're right. Lane 2. That's Mercer.
PNRA. Also, so Mercer's moved up.
They have, but still slightly behind.
This
and
is a close
big push
race.
now. Big push.
All crews are overlapping.
The U18's team is really pushing hard now. They've regained second place and
That's
are pushing again. This is the second time now they've had wood on the leader from Thompson.
And they come into the last 500. It's showtime.
If they keep going like this, there could be 3 boats across like the last race for second.
Yeah.
Because lane 1 has really pushed up.
CRI's making. Yeah, they are making a move. Well, lane 5 still seems to be holding it.
Yeah.
They just went up.
Shortened up just a little bit. Yep.
Shortened up and went up.
Yeah, yeah.
They're at 39.
Yeah, a little bit of disparity there between the stroke and 2. But the stroke is pushing like crazy. to
Oh
hold
my
this
God,
lead.
she is cranking it. It just went up again.
And so did
41.
Lane 4. So did Row West.
Row West and Lane 4. What are they at?
And here comes CRI in Lane 1.
39 for Row West. You're right. CRI might be in second. What do you think?
It's hard to tell on the angle, but they're certainly pushing like crazy, getting a lot of send out of the boat, too.
Yes, look at that. They're at a 34 and they're moving.
Actually, they may be moving into. They're clearly in second at this point.
I think TBC might be paying a price for going up so high and shortening up. They're at a 40 still. They're at 40 for the last 300.
I wonder if TBC even sees them. That coxswain probably can't see Lane 1 at this point.
Right.
And they just have to go. They looks like they're in pretty good shape.
CRI
at
and
this point,
U18G fighting out lanes 1 and 6.
But CRI's putting a big push into second. Now look, Brian. Here comes Row West again. Back into the picture.
Look at that.
Again, one of these
Whoa.
great finishes
Second,
for
third,
second.
fourth. Throw a blanket over
Look at,
him.
here we go. Look at CRI in the bottom here.
What's it going to be? Yes.
CRI going right
Whoa.
in. CRI got second. And Lane 4 got third.
So Row West was third?
Good finish by CRI. Really very
Yes.
impressive finish by CRI. And equally impressive by Thompson to hold off those crews that were pushing like crazy. And absolutely dramatic response to the other crews going up. To lead that whole way and then to have that response there is a really valiant
crazy.
effort from all those girls in that boat.
TBC wanted it. They were at over 40 strokes a minute the last 300
Yeah,
strokes.
that's the way you have to do it. You want to win the Nationals, you have to be able to sacrifice at the end of a boat race.
That's right. You have to pay the price.
Lots of fans here. I'm not the head coach. I'm the technical.
All right, we're back. We're just telling some racing stories from Henley.
Yep.
Women's U17 8 final. Lane 1, CRI. Lane 2, Greenwich. Lane 3, U18G. Lane 4, U17 Dev. Lane 5, Row West. And lane 6, CRI B.
So CRI just continues to put out real quality boats making the finals of almost every event.
Yeah, if you walk up to the course, the 500-meter mark by the restaurant, there's this field of red Hudsons, all from CRI.
Right. And speaking of that, they're at the 1,000-meter mark. I'll be really interested in this race to see how the high-performance team, the U18, and the high-performance team, U17, do rowing against each other.
Yeah,
That's
no
always a
kidding.
big challenge for the U17 team.
Well, it's a U17 race, so why is a U18G boat in the event? Maybe I guess they're of age. So it looks like they're U18G's in the lead
Right?
by what, half a length?
Right,
you think?
over U17.
Over 1 and 4 are pretty close together.
So the order we see, with about 800 meters to go, is lane 3, the U18 high-performance team in the lead, half a length over the U17 development team, and then followed by, again, we lost the drone shot, but it looked like lane 1 had it for a while.
Yes,
CRI,
CRI
yeah.
is probably in third, I think.
Yeah.
Though they're making a move.
Now, what's
CRI's
really interesting is the U17 is making a move. They went from a half length down now to maybe a quarter length down.
Yeah.
So the bow ball is on the 2 seat of the 18 team.
All bets are off as they come to the yacht club.
So it's interesting, as you said, Brian, to find a U18 rowing U17, but that means they're all of age. Good swing in both boats. In the overhead shot, if you really look at it, you can see it. Timing is perfect in the U17 boat. Release out of the bow is perfect as well. Looks like there might be just a little more power, as you might expect, in the U18 boat.
Yep.
Who they moved another. They took a seat back now.
Yeah, no, they've definitely pulled
But
back
again,
out.
a really tight race. I mean, this race, depending on what they do in the last 500, this race could go to either of those two boats.
I'd say U17 Dev now has a clear lead over CRI in lane 1. I'd say maybe 3 seats. Or is that just the angle?
Maybe
Maybe not. No. Oh, no, take that
it's
back.
wood on.
It's dead even here.
Yeah.
Yep.
So nice spacing. Really, from both the lead boats, nice spacing. Looks like U17 has dropped off just a little bit. They went from the 2 seat, now their bow ball's on the stroke. And as you mentioned, Brian, CRI in lane 1 is pushed up. Looks like they're swinging a little bit wide. The course is a little bit outside.
Yeah,
The
well,
U17 boat seems to be moving a little
they're
bit
really
outside.
wide lanes, though, so there's plenty of room for coxswains to wander
There we
without
go.
getting in serious trouble. Whoa, here we come into the last 400 meters.
So again, the U18 team with about a half, maybe a little bit more than that length lead over the U17, with CRI in lane 1 really pushing hard to maintain third place. Greenwich is making a move,
Yes, they are. All right, let's get some ratings.
but it's a little bit, I think, might run out of space with that move. The question is whether CRI, and we've seen this now in the last couple of races, CRI screaming in lane 1, whether they can get into second place.
CRI's at 35.
Looks like the U17 team has gone up again, but again, U18 maintaining their half-length lead.
No crazy ratings this race like the Cox 4 race
No.
just previously. Up there goes HP's at 38, trying to hold everyone off.
Yeah, and they're looks like they've got a really good, solid connection,
Yes, they
which
do.
should carry them through the finish line. Little peek at the finish line by the girl in 3 seat. Lane 4, half a length down. And here comes CRI again in lane 1.
U17 Dev second, CRI bronze.
33rd.
Greenwich 4. Row West 5. And CRIB coming in 6th. That's quite the competitive race.
A very competitive race. And, you know, as we talked about before, great to see the U18s and U17s rowing against each other.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy. Look at this.
What's that? Oh,
Gary
hey.
Hedling. Gary, you going to swim out to the cruise?
What's up? Was that your daughter rowing earlier? Right, yeah, for Vesper. Yeah, good stuff.
Excellent. Are we off? On or off?
Next race, men's U19 straight 4. This should be a barn burner.
Well, it'll be also interesting, as you said, these races are always variables given the steering. But lane
thanks,
1
Kev.
is
Awesome.
Princeton National Rowing Association Mercer combination. Lane 2, GMSB. Lane 3, Greenwich. Lane 4, the U18B high performance team. Lane 5, another GMS boat, the A boat. And in lane 6, another high performance team, U18 boys. So we have 2 boats from the GMS program and 2 boats from the U18 team here, as well as GMS and Mercer. So this should be a real interesting race again to see how the teams compete against each other from GMS and in U18. And as you said, by lane assignments, it's very interesting because the B boat for both GMS and the U18 are in lanes 3 and 4, which are usually preferred lane based on the heats.
Are these B boats?
Yes, this is B.
Oh, GMSB. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Lane 2.
And this is a B. Actually, that's the A boat from U18. You're right, on lane 4.
So Greenwich probably had the fastest time coming out of the semis.
Right. So panning up the course, looks like they've just started the race. 150, 200 meters into the race. Hard to tell who's leading at this point, especially with the angle. Looks like lane 6 is real close to the bank, Brian. Look at the spread between lanes 5 and 6 as they come past the.
Well, it is a
first
straight
marker.
4. Anything can happen in the steering with a straight
Sure.
4.
And speaking of which, lane 3 is now steering toward lane 2. So we'll see if we can see a referee's flag if they try to get him back on course. Lane 2 is a little bit close to 1. So real interesting developments as far as steering in the first 250, 300 meters of the race. Lane 6 is back on course now, and lane 3 is as well. So it looks like 3 is pushed to an early lead. Lane 1 steering out.
3 being
Looks like
Greenwich.
everybody seeming to want to go to port side.
3 and 4 look pretty tight. I would say even lane 4 might be in the lead in the dark blue
You think?
unis. Yeah, I think they may have a little bit on 3. Lane 6 might be up there in spite of their steering. You think 3? All right. Jim's saying 3. I'm saying 4.
In fact, I think 4's pretty close to 1 and 6 too.
This guy here. Yeah.
But it's the steering that he keeps steering.
Oh, lane 3 is heading
Lane
toward.
3 again is steering toward the buoy lines on their port side. In fact, pretty dramatically at this point. If he doesn't get back on course, he's going to lose a lot steering.
And he's going right in front of lane 2.
And now he's crossed over.
That's got to get a warning.
Right, but still no flag. It's
No,
very
the-
interesting.
the-
But what that must mean, Brian, we can't see on this angle, but it must mean they have separation from clear water over lane 2.
Yes. Maybe
Or
there's
else
no.
they would be calling them on it.
Yeah. Well,
Again, lane 3 in the lead. Looks like lane 1, 4, and 6 are almost even for second at this
these
point.
referees do a great job. You see when he went off course, the referee boat came right up to them.
Pretty tight race from the drone
Yeah.
now.
I think
With
lane
3 and
4 has
4.
a seat. From here, what do you think, Jim? Lane 3 just made a move. I say they're dead even. You think they have a lead?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
By
lane
about 2 seats.
2 seats. What are you looking at? I think
I'm
lane
looking at
4
the
might
white-
have a
I'm looking
foot.
at the white boat.
Yeah.
So we have our unofficial spotter here, Kevin. What do you think, Kevin?
Deciding vote.
You know, we're looking on the monitor with the white boat, and I think the white boat looks like it's the head.
Yeah, and
These
that's
St. Joe's guys are ganging up on the pen grad,
and that's
apparently.
pretty dramatic given their steering problems. Again,
Yeah.
they're
Oh,
back over,
now
they're steering
now
over
lane
again.
3's in the lead. Yeah, they straightened up and got in the lead. Now he's hitting the buoys again.
right. So if they could row a straight course, Brian, they'd probably have 2 or 3 more seats at this point.
I
But
think
this
they'd
is
have a length
really,
at this
really
point.
hard to do,
Yeah, and now he's heading towards port.
especially when you're given the fact that all during the season they're probably not rowing straight boats, and to jump in here and to go down the course in national championships.
Right. And he's
But a
playing.
heck of a boat race between Greenwich and the high performance team.
Referee's right between him, gauging it because he's got his.
High performance team has steered a really straight course the whole time.
Their hull is just inside the buoys. The referee has his reaching down for his flag. Up now they're going
they're
back,
steering
and
wide.
now lane 4 is taking the lead due to that steering mishap. Are we watching the same race? Yeah.
Look up.
Yeah, I think lane 4 managed to get a couple seats when they almost went out of the lane. Now lane 3's back in the lead.
Lane C
He's
has
coming towards them again.
almost a deck. Again, even with the steering, they have a deck, and they seem to be on a move, Brian. They're expanding their lead a little bit.
Yep.
But
Yeah, now
what
they
a
got
great boat race
good-
between these two crews.
a good 3 seats now. Yeah, now they're definitely moving at the top of the 500. Must just taking the 10.
And it looks like, looking down the course, that they've separated from everybody except for maybe lane 6.
Gary got Greenwich and the White Blades at a 38.
And they're moving. They're really picking the boat up well.
Yeah,
Good
U18's
length,
at
good
37.
spacing.
4 seats now. 5 seats in it.
And they seem to be, it must be in a move because they're certainly higher than the crew in lane 4. But again, it might be coming over again.
Oh, it's hard to tell. They're out of the view here.
But what a push by this crew.
Greenwich just went up. Oh, they're being flagged by the referee?
Well, that's because they're so close to lane 4.
Yeah.
Question is
They're at
whether they'll
39.
overcorrect and they hurt themselves. So
Yeah,
it looks like the order right now is 3, 4, and 6, with 2 putting a push on to get that third place medal. Now look at lane
great.
4. Big push from lane 4 now.
Yeah,
The
here they come.
performance
Up.
team is
Lane
really
3's
sending
going
and
off.
lane
They're
3's
going to the other
way
lane
off
now.
course. This will be interesting just because of the steering aspect of it.
If they can
They're
stay on
back
the
in
course,
course
they can
now,
win.
and they've gotten the lead back,
37 at HP.
and they've expanded it. Our performance team coming across first, and
Greenwich first.
I'm sorry, Greenwich first, high
Then
performance
XP.
in second, good call, and the B team in third.
And that's what GMS.
Yes, they had to win. They had to lead the whole way down. Sometimes you only see people have the lead. Must be a difference in the angle, Brian. You're looking to the left, I'm looking to the right.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what race you guys are looking at.
Or is it beneath the presses? That could do vision too.
That's right.
Definitely had an inexperienced tug. You could get bouncing from one to the other, which is the common mistake with it.
Well, it shows you the importance of steering straight and why coxswains are a good thing. And sometimes, if
Greenwich probably rode 2,200 meters. Most
Yeah.
of the Henley course.
yeah, yeah. Jim just said, yeah, Greenwich probably raced the Henley distance there and he still managed to hold off U17 Dev.
But what a great race between those two crews. I mean, so hard to race competitively and have the tow and not have that coxswain making the calls for you. So a real tribute to both crews to race that closely, that long, and certainly to Greenwich for the steering and recovering and coming back, and a big push at the very end. So, moving right along.
Two more races and we're done.
There we go.
Until lunch.
So the next one is a quad. So this should be a lot of fun. The women's U19 quad final. Wayland Weston in lane 1. Row West Racing Camp in lane 2. Oklahoma City High Performance Center in lane 3. Resilient in lane 4. The U18 Girls High Performance Team in 5. And Vesper Boat Club in lane 6. So you're going to have to forgive your announcers. These 3 announcers here are old Vesper people, so we're going to keep quiet.
So, there's been a false start. I've just heard. Probably those Vesper crews doing that old Vesper start. You go on the prey at Fou Prey, right?
Right.
That's what you taught us.
Or before, if you can.
At worst, go on the pros between prey and partay.
Right.
So interestingly, stroke of the high performance Oklahoma City, Caitlin Gildersleeve, she's already won the double and the single today, and now she's trying to go for a hat trick.
Going for a triple. That's excellent.
All within the span of 2 hours. So we'll see if they can pull it off.
And the last race of the day will be the men's U17 quad. So 2 quads in a row. Quads are just great boats to watch. They're just so fluid, so symmetrical, such quickness to it. Just a little, sidebar. Right? Before we went to Henley, we raced the Panacea Lake quad that went to the race in Austria, and with an 8, and they were dramatically fast at the beginning of each piece. It took us a while to catch catch up to them. And then when they went up, they would be able to move away just very easily. So quads have incredible speed. All right.
So just a note that Lauren Howe from Oklahoma City also won the double with Gildersleeve, and she's going for her second win of the day.
English water. Put it back. I just keep refilling it.
And the other
Back on the stake boats, Brian?
and the other two rowers from Oklahoma City Quad were second in the women's U17 double. So very good results out of Oklahoma City. Yeah, I was in Oklahoma City in 1983 for a fraternity brother's wedding, and all there was a fence with maybe 2 Cox 4s in Oklahoma City. And now look at what they have. They have a boathouse row with a world-class course.
Absolutely.
Lights for nighttime racing. It's really amazing the development they've done in Oklahoma City. They have a high-performance center that's putting out great crews.
And to the expansion of USRowing and finding more and more markets. And that's the way it should be. Not unusual, though, to have doubles come back and row in a quad
Sure.
in these championships.
But these races are really close together. And ideally, you'd like a couple hours between races.
But the nice news is it's not that hot. And the humidity is not that bad at this point. And just a little bit of a breeze, so people will recover as long as they're hydrated.
Yeah, it's just an hour and 20 minutes since the single final.
And that's a push.
Yeah.
Doubles to a quad, manageable. Singles to a quad, a little bit of a difference. Just in the speed. I mean, the single is a boat that moves much slower than a quad. You have to have a much quicker catch, be able to move much more fluidly on the slide. Singles are a little more relaxed, a little more, longer race.
So what's going on here?
Have they started yet?
They've started. Hopefully no one was disqualified at the start for the false start.
Okay, so the drone shot is just moving back up the course, so it's hard for us yet to tell what's happening up there. But it looks like everybody's off to a clean start, hasn't been called back. Watching at home?
What's that?
Is this being broadcast live?
Yes, Glav, we are live on the internet,
Yeah.
thanks to YouTube.
So if you're watching it at home, you probably see the drone now just passing the Cooper River Boat Club, heading back up to give us a indication of who's ahead in this race.
Well, I can see the officials' launches.
Yeah. There we go. So they're passing that little inlet there, so they're probably
Right at the
on
500.
500 meter mark.
Yep.
And from our vantage point here, it looks like lane 3 might have a slight lead over lane 1, but really close between 2, 5, and 6. Would you agree with that, Brian?
I would say lane 6 might be in the lead even. Am I giving too much of a stagger to the events?
Yeah. I think even with the stagger, I think lane 3 has maybe a length on the field.
3 and 6, I think, is clearly 1-2.
1 and 2 are in the battle for second with lane 6. But lane 3 starting to separate from the field. That would be the High Performance Center from Oklahoma City.
Yes, the second 500, they're clearly making a move at the 500 meter mark.
Open water over the field,
Powering away.
and a blanket for second between 1, 2, 5, and 6, with 4 only slightly behind.
Oklahoma City at a 38 now.
So second through 6, there's wood on for every boat, no more than a couple seats separating them. 1's closing a little bit. Lane 1, Waylon Weston is closing a little bit on the Oklahoma City boat, but not enough yet at this point in the race to be a challenge.
Yeah, I think lane
But-
6 kind
but
of went out a little too
little
hard.
bit of steering problems here in lane 5.
Uh-oh. Referee, get your flag out. They're about to clash oars.
He
No,
hasn't corrected yet. but they're still in their lane.
She just did. Just barely. They're both
But
right on the
lane,
buoy line.
lane 4 and 5, it's very interesting. It's hard to see from, I'm sure, from the stands, but lane 4 and 5 are both hugging the opposite buoys. 4 hugging the starboard buoys, 5 hugging the port buoys.
And 4 have been making a move.
And 5 is again
they're
coming
freaked.
over. They seem to want to slide over just a little bit to port, and then they correct back.
It's those magnetic buoy lines.
That's it. And now we have the same problem. I think 4 is overcorrected, so they're pushing back a little bit. The race seems again between lane 3 has a significant lead now over 1 and 2, who are battling out for second and third. And the other 3 boats are a little bit off the pace.
The value of pulling hard and going straight. Lane 3 just keeps powering along into 38, moving along. Yeah, lane 6 seems to have gone out a little too hard, and now they're beginning to come off the pace.
So we've lost the sight line from the drone on lanes 1, 2, and 3, although it's coming back slowly.
Lane 2.
It's hard
in
to
the-
see
in
where
the
1
pink
is.
and white. Who's that?
Really
Row-
nice
Row
pace.
West.
Brian, can you get the stroke on lane 3? Really just picking that boat up every stroke
They were
quickly.
at 38.
There's
They're
no
at a-
drag. There's no check at all on that boat. Again, they have open water. Maybe, it looks like here almost a length of open
Yep.
water over 2. 2's taking the second place position away from 1.
They were at a 38, been 38 the whole race.
So they're just going it along at a 38. Comfortable, fluid.
Lane 2 is at a 33.
And
in
what you would
comparison.
expect from a high-performance team at this point in the season.
I wonder what their rigging is at so they can maintain that sort of a rating.
Well, I think sometimes in a quad it's almost easier, just like in an 8, to row the higher ratings.
Yeah, you sit up, don't
Yeah.
get much body swing,
Right.
crank the legs, and finish.
Interesting. Row West with their pink and white deck and pink blades. Very significantly different than the rest of the crews in this race. And Leyland Leston, I wonder if that's their high school program, even though U19s.
Where is Wayland Weston?
Yeah.
Connecticut?
I think Connecticut. They usually
Yeah,
produce
I'm
good
a-
sculling crews.
I'm a southerner now, so I'm losing touch.
Yeah, there you go.
So Row West seems to be in second, though we can't tell.
So
Close.
if you guys look down the course, you should be able to see the race coming into view. And you can see clearly that the crew from Oklahoma City is maintaining a pretty comfortable lead over 1 and 2 with a little bit of push coming on from both crews. And 1 and 2 seem to have a full length over the other crews in lanes 4, 5, and 6, with 5 slightly ahead of 4 and 6.
Yeah, all crews are at about 400 meters to go. I'm just curious to see how much higher Oklahoma City can go. They've been rowing 38 the whole race.
So Oklahoma City on the drone shot clearly has 2 lengths of open now over the rest of the field. Hard to see when you look down the course, but clearly has 2 lengths of open. Lane 2 from Row West has about the half a length lead over Wayland Leston. We can't see right now lanes 4, 5, and 6, but I imagine that margin hasn't changed dramatically yet.
Lane 5 looks like they might be in
and so
contention, but I think they're a length back.
4 has dropped.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Nope.
So the really nice thing, folks, is if you can really bring this crew home too and give them a huge cheer, because they're just doing a magnificent job maintaining this huge lead here.
Yeah, these four ladies from Oklahoma City have just been putting on a clinic here
Of sculling.
of sculling.
Yeah.
Sculling and performance under pressure. They're at a 40 now.
I mean, their swing and their timing and the blade work is perfect. Absolutely no check in the boat.
Very
Look at
little
them
check,
pick
yeah.
the boat up, Brian.
Oh, it's incredible.
Look at the bow.
Look at the run they're getting every finish.
And almost no dip in the stern, so they're picking it up quickly. Really synchronized leg drive and complete finishes. So they're sending the boat. There's no slippage at the end of the stroke.
All four sitting up and just cranking it
And
through.
to win by that much, these ladies are really hungry. They just keep pushing this much.
I would like
They
to
want to make a statement with this race.
I'd like to compare their time to the U19
And Row West
8.
looks like they're going to hold on for second, even though Wayland Weston is doing a great job pushing for that third place.
Yep,
Good
Row West
boat
second.
race. Beautiful boat race. That was a demonstration of really nice sculling for U19 women
Okay, Vesper
from
in fourth,
Oklahoma City.
followed by HTG. Nope, sorry, Resilient. Sorry, Vesper sixth. UHTG was fourth. Vesper sixth. Yeah, we'll have to compare times from that quad to the women's U19 8. I'd be curious because they were stonking down the course.
Your brother had that. Have you seen the Pan American Blizzard?
I did see. I saw. He sent us a picture.
Yeah, with the big emblem, he said was made in China.
Go ahead.
So we want to report, in case you're missing, and you ought to check this. I hope this is a set of keys for a Honda. It says Zimmerman Cars Honda in Rock Island, Illinois. It's a key with another Weiser, looks like door key attached to it. So if you've dropped that or missing that key, please come to the finish line tower, and we'd be happy to return it to you.
For a small gratuity.
Small gratuity brings 6 forms of identification.
And a
Three
half case
picture,
of beer.
Passport, anything else that we can make sure that's you. Otherwise, there's a set of keys here, in all seriousness. So the last race of the day, Brian, the morning session, is the U17 men's quad. In lane 1, from Sarasota, the U17 racing team. In lane 2, Litchfield Hills. In lane 3, the racing team from Ashland, the U17 racing team. In lane 4, the U17 racing team from Sarasota. In lane 5, the U17 racing team from Saratoga. And in lane 6, Maritime. So again, we have these racing teams from Ashland, Sarasota, and Saratoga in 3, 4, and 5, with Litchfield in lane 2, another Sarasota team in lane 1, and Maritime in lane 6.
And it looks
Should be
like
exciting.
with 500 to go, Saratoga and Sarasota seem to be ahead of the pack.
Significantly ahead of the pack.
Yeah, so Sarasota has about a half length on Saratoga.
Or Sarasota. Yeah, that's actually good call there, Brian. That they've again, these two crews are separated from the field. They're racing each other. Half length difference between Sarasota over Saratoga.
Looks like Litchfield's making a move to establish dominance in third position. Lane
And
2.
Maritime has fallen off a little bit off the pace. That's actually 3.
Lane 2, yeah, Litchfield.
That's 3.
That's lane 3, you think?
Yep, that's Ashland. Because we can't see 1. You should be able to call them home now. There are 350 meters to go. And Sarasota maintaining their lead over Saratoga in their Swift Shell.
So Sarasota, Saratoga, and looks like Litchfield in lane 2.
Yep.
But lane 6, hard to tell from the angle. They may
So
have
big
half
push from
length on it.
Saratoga here. Big push. Might run out of room, but boy, they're pushing hard to get
Oh, here we go.
back in here. So the angle rightly will certainly favor Sarasota.
Sarasota at 38.
And Litchfield, Saratoga looks like they're a little bit higher. They've dropped off just a bit off the pace. There goes Sarasota.
Saratoga at 36.
Rolling with what looks like West German Blaze, right? Saratoga second. Here comes Litchfield in lane 3. Was that Litchfield in lane 2? Lane 2.
Litchfield
Good
2.
good race to end the morning, Brian. Very good race
Yeah.
to end the morning.
Just ahead of time.
A valiant effort there by Saratoga, just a little bit short at the end, but Sarasota maintaining their lead that last 1,000 meters all the way down.
Well, it's that race plan that Dad always told us, right? Get out in front
That's
and stay there.
Get out in front, stay there. Easiest way to race.
Well, that concludes the morning's racing. Please come back after lunch for the, what's that? Time trials. Right. Right. So the time trials will start this afternoon. Unfortunately, we're not broadcasting, but you people that are at Cooper River Park can come enjoy them. Broadcasting will resume with the semifinals on Saturday morning. Thank you for joining us. And
Brian, it's been a pleasure. Kevin, pleasure.
Yes,
Evan?
absolutely.
Always good to
Very
see
much.
you.
Good to see you as well. What a great day for racing, folks. Take care.
Signing off for now.